Well, hey there, my Facebook lovelies, and hello there to you, my Insta lovelies. It's so good to see you guys. I'm Donna Hoffman, and they call me the Interior Design Advocate because I help to stop all that design frustration from over Pinteresting yourself and over house booking yourself and over idea collecting yourself. Through the online courses that we offer here at the Interior Design Advocate, we empower you, the design lover working on your own home, to get gorgeous results. Now, I realize that every Tuesday at 4 p.m., we like to stop what we're doing here to take a break to talk to you and teach you something. I realize that sometimes this 4 p.m. hour doesn't work for you. We're East Coast time. You can always find a replay on our YouTube channel. I'll go over that with you a little later. And I've been so honored and blessed to be called one of America's leading interior design coaches because my students get results, real results. Now I realize as well that this time of year, not a lot of new projects starting, but you'd be surprised. We just had a bunch of clients hop on board at year end for us because they do want to get a running jump into the new year. So as you think about your decorating and design projects for the new year, do you know that we have decided here at the Interior Design Advocate, we are going to continue doing these Facebook Lives and these Insta Lives every Tuesday, 4 p.m. for you. So we're excited, and we hope you're excited too. We've got some great things planned for you as well. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about the kind of design projects that really most of us are interested in this time of year, which is not really starting something soup to nuts in our own home. It's about getting ready for holiday guests. So this week, we promised we would talk to you about wait. I made myself the royal wait. This week, I promised you I would talk to you about how to spruce up your kitchen when you know that company is going to be coming. So there are some things you can do that obviously don't involve ripping out cabinets and replacing countertops. No time for that. But there are some amazing things you can do that really have a big impact. Okay, so, and a little later, I'll take your questions about kitchen design in total, if you like, and definitely if you have any tips that you'd like to share about what you like to do to design your kitchen or style out your kitchen, really, which is what really more appropriately what we're talking about. Love to have you share that with all the design divas across the country that are going to be seeing this either live or in the replay. All right, so when it comes to kitchens, K is for clutter. And I want you to think about the fact that you really don't need to chew up counter space visually with a lot of the stuff that you need for cooking daily and making your toast in the morning. If you really want to give your kitchen a great lift for holiday, this is the time, first and foremost, to think about negative space and weight. Where do you want to create some space in your kitchen visually to make room for some new appointments, as well as what can you kind of let go for a while? So first, we want to do some decluttering, right? So the bin or the container that has all of the, I don't know, the spatulas and the spoons, do you really need that out? You may not. Or the George Foreman grill, sorry, George, do you really need that out? Do you need the blender out on the counter? Can you start storing some of those things below counter so that you have room on the counter either for space and or for some beautiful new things to come take their place? So first you want to declutter. Also, you want to declutter in terms of getting all the pictures with the magnets off your refrigerator. Just a nice clean look on the refrigerator. How beautiful. Why? Because as I teach in my Design CPR course and the free workshop that goes with it, accessories stop the eye. Accessories are not these random things that you just sort of sprinkle about, you know, hoping for the best. Accessories are definitely there to stop the eye and then let the eye go forward. Stop the eye, then let the eye go forward. With kitchens, it gets a little complicated because then you also have all these other utensils, utilitarian things, I should say, on the counters, and that creates something else for the eye to look at. So I'm asking you to think about your kitchen almost like a dining room table. You're going to create a tablescape with it. And when you do this, trust me, things look gorgeous for the holidays. So the first thing you do is you clear out the clutter. You clear out things that aren't fully necessary. And definitely, if you're like me, you have that pile of paper that piles up by your kitchen, kind of the message center area, get rid of that. Go through it, get rid of it, or at least stow it away someplace else. So now what do you do instead? What do you put out instead? Well, there are things that you can do that will be very festive as well as functional. So you might want to think first about adding greenery into the space. Maybe you want to do some beautiful rosemary conical, those small conical tabletop trees out of that wonderful smelling herbs, just something like that by the kitchen sink. Or you might want to do two of them on a dining table in your kitchen if you have a breakfast room with a larger table. If it's not a big table, maybe just one. And maybe with some of the other greenery that you might put out for the holidays, you might want to think about adding a little bit of it. I'm not talking about going overboard, but a little bit of that greenery can go in and around the wiring, ironwork, I should say, of a light fixture over the dining table. A little bit of it can go into some open shelving. A little bit of it can go into some glass shelves that you have and just put it forward in your case so that it shows. And then you just have a little sprinkling of green. And I want you to think about moving that across your kitchen 3 times. So let's say you do a little rosemary bush by your sink. Then where else can you get green to move into the kitchen? 2 more times. Just a little sprig here, a little sprig there, a little piece of garland somewhere else, okay? And it might be, if you have a pretty cutout on top of your refrigerator that maybe has some pottery on it, maybe right in front of that, you want to just do a little sprinkling of green, garland, some evergreen bow, that sort of thing, okay? So you want to think about creating some repetition with just an organic, wintry something. Also, right on that kitchen island, if you have an island, a nice, big, tall pillar candle, something that's like a good 6 inches or 8 inches tall on a pretty container or dish, so it's ready to be lit as soon as company comes. And then you can also think about doing things with foods and fruits that are festive and decorative. So if you have tiered plates stands, or a tiered plate stand, or a footed bowl, or a footed plate. On top of that, you can do things that are in the festive holiday colors. You can do, let's say you had a 3-tier plate stand. You could do artichokes on the top. There's a nice green. If you don't want artichokes, pick another green something. It can be green pears. It could be, I don't know, limes. So you want to do an arrangement of something green on the top tier. Then you might want to do something in red pears or pomegranates or red apples. So you've got your green, your red, and then you can go do another layer of green below, or you can do red, green, red. So think about some pretty things you can do with fruits, vegetables that looks festive and it's decorative and it's just creating some weight in an area where you'd like to create some weight. Something else that's nice to bring into your kitchen so the kitchen just looks pretty and ready for guests. Think about adding 1 or 2 pretty framed photographs, but framed in a silvery metal, if that is part of your color scheme for the holidays. And just having those near that little rosemary bush that we talked about, somewhere near the kitchen sink as guests are maybe bringing their empty champagne glasses or cocktail glasses over, or their empty, I don't know what, salad dishes over for clearing. There's something pretty to look at. So think about bringing some things into the kitchen, but first get rid of things as well. Also, you can think about doing pretty displays with, really want to get your guests happy, chocolates and candies and desserts. And when our children, I almost said my children, but I'll share them with Steve. When our children were both living at home around the holidays, I used to like to have some pretty dishes of, whether it was nuts or some chocolates or some dried fruits. If you want to go healthier, dried fruits and nuts as opposed to chocolates, but I'm a 72% chocolate girl myself, so I don't know about you guys. And you can have those out in some strategic areas as well. Pay attention to the containers that are being put in. Again, you might want to create some rhythm so there's some continuity, using the same color or the same metal colors through all of your containers, and then punctuating them with different beautiful things that you're filling them with, okay? So getting ready for holiday entertaining means using your kitchen perhaps in a slightly different way, getting the unnecessary things off the countertops for now. And who knows, you might find in the new year you still want your countertops a little more clear than a little more cluttered. And doing this, I realize, might mean you have to do a little cleaning out in your cabinetry below to make room for things from your countertops. But if that won't work for you, there's always the laundry room, there's always the attic, there's always the basement that can hold some things short term as well. Okay, so hopefully that will get you excited and ready to do something fun. Make yourself a great cup of tea or coffee while you do this exercise, put on some music, and you are ready to go. So I'd love to see what it is you have in mind for your kitchen style out for the holidays. And I also want to tell you that I posted a link here on Facebook. We'd love it if you would go vote for our very popular bathroom. We're up for an award from House. And if you could follow the link that we posted on Facebook, and give us, the way to vote is just to save that bathroom, which will get you right on that link. Save that photo to your idea book, and that will be a vote for us. So we appreciate that. And if you're watching me on Instagram, we'll create a link in the description, right? Is that what we're doing? Yeah, I'm getting the part of Katie is being played by Steve Hoffman today. Katie's actually out judging and jurying a design competition of sorts amongst design students. So we're excited to see how that goes for Katie as well. So I'd love to know what you have in mind for your holiday kitchen decluttering and decorating. And if you have a kitchen design question, you're welcome to ask me that as well. I realize this is a softer topic. I just want to see what's on your gorgeous designing mind. And Insta, if you want to send in a comment or question, Steve will be feeding those to me as well. All right, so let's see what I'm getting here. So Jennifer is saying that she loves Tuesday afternoons. Jen, I love having you here on Tuesday afternoons, and I love them too. It's so great to be with you beauties. Sharon is saying declutter is her favorite word. I love it. Julie Lambert is saying, I'm hearing two things at the same time. Uh-oh. Julie is having audio problems. Julie, I hope you straighten those out. Sharon is saying she doesn't have audio. Okay, that's between you guys. All right, great. So no comments or questions about decluttering your kitchen. I'm getting a lot of waves on Instagram. Okay, I guess this is going to be a short Insta. No problem. It's holiday time. If you have a question that you want to ask me about kitchen design or styling out a kitchen for the holidays, feel free to pop that in. If not, I'll just tell you, and while you're doing that, if you wish to do that, I just want to tell you what we're talking about next week, which is our last Insta Live and Facebook Live for the year. Super excited. What are we talking about? We're talking about, favorite centerpieces. There you go. Favorite centerpieces for the holidays, but also just for elegant dinner parties and gatherings and brunches and lunches and that sort of thing too. So I'll be sharing those ideas with you. Feel free to bring some of your ideas to share with the divas. And then once we get back into January 2020, the new year, we'll get back into some hard-hitting design topics. We realize this time of year, everybody is kind of running 8 ways and sideways, and redoing your home is not exactly the first thing you're thinking about doing. But here at our design studio, we're working 24/7. I spent the day working on space plans and budgets and fabric planning and pulling furniture. So it never stops here, but I realize a lot of you are otherwise engaged for the holidays. So, okay, I'll just take one final look to see if there are any comments or questions. So Sharon is saying the juicer is going in the cabinet. She was looking at it yesterday and thinking it's got to go. Sharon, I totally give you a thumbs up on that. Yeah, you know, when we have family over, Steve is used to this now, I just default a lot into our laundry room. The toaster goes out. I always keep my blender underneath. Even certain accessories I swap out and get out of the way so I can bring other things in that are more appropriate for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or Hanukkah or Valentine's Day or whatever it is, whatever I'm entertaining, whatever springtime holiday I'm doing. So it's okay to change up your accessories. And I will tell you this too, in total in your home, it's wise to do that. And it's really important to look at your accessories and decide if they're looking a little dated. You know, certain things that were really trending heavily 10 years ago, that very heavy country French look, and maybe you've been moving away from that in your furnishings. But if you're forgetting to move away from that in your accessories, you're still dating the interior. So it's okay to, what does Marie Kondo do? She thanks something and blesses it before passing it along. You can pass some of your accessories on to new users, right? As you put new energy and new beauty into your home. All right, guys, I don't think there are any questions coming in. There's a question coming in or a comment coming in. Not exactly a question. Easy8 is saying on Insta, hi Easy8, I know this is Christmas, but I can't get an answer. But can I get an answer on area rugs? Yes, I'll answer you on area rugs. Send it in, Easy8. Okay, while I'm waiting for that to come in, Sharon is saying, Steve Hoffman, you can't talk to me while I'm talking because I can't, babe, I can't hear. All right, it's on there. Okay, my question is, my dining and living room is shared. Can one part be patterned and the other under the dining table solid. Okay, so Easy 8 is asking, she's an open concept space. Can one rug be patterned? Can one rug be solid? Answer, yes. And I would love to invite you, Easy 8, to go to our YouTube channel, which is the Interior Design Advocate. There it is. I know it looks backward on YouTube, but we did a great Facebook Live a couple months back on open concept design. And I hope you'll look at that, because that's what you're dealing with, whether it's adjoining spaces or open concept. When you're dealing with area rugs, my lovelies, I want you to think about it like working with fabric. You always look to modify the combination of scale, large scale, mid scale, small scale, and solid. So when we do rugs in an open concept home, I don't care what the square footage is, we don't do the same rug everywhere. The only place I might repeat a rug is if in a foyer. In a smaller foyer, I might do something cut by the front door, and then I'll repeat that in a runner going up the stairs in order to create some continuity. But I do not ever recommend from room to room that you do the same area rug. No, what you want to do, Easy 8, and everybody else facing this right now, you want to think about the easiest thing to do is find the patterned rug you love best. Find that, and then you back the solid out of that patterned rug. It might be a minor color, a secondary color, a tertiary color. It could be a primary color from that patterned rug, depending upon what color plan you're using. But it's always an easy win to go for a secondary color or very minor color out of that. And then you're just really doing something more about broadcasting texture. So great question, Easy 8. I'm glad you asked me, and I hope I helped you. Alrighty, let me see if there's anything else. Centerpieces will be helpful next week, Sharon. I am glad. I love to entertain. I will come clean though and tell you, once I opened my design business a number of years ago, I don't see my friends as often as I wish I did, and I don't entertain the way I wish I did because I'm tired on the weekends. But I do love to entertain, and I'll share some really great centerpiece ideas with you. Norma's saying, do you have photos of small kitchen design decor for Christmas? Norma, I don't. I will tell you, I know a lot of you have said, Donna, I really wish you were more visual during your Facebook Lives. I offer great free workshops, which are very visual, and those take 100 hours to put together. And then my online courses take hundreds of hours to put together, and they are very visual. Here in these Facebook Lives, I just don't have the bandwidth to gather visuals and then take you on a different type of mission design-wise. So that's why we devote our Facebook Lives right now and in the foreseeable future to teaching in ways where I don't need visuals. I get it. I get design is visual, and a lot of you are visual learners. So Norma, I would suggest you Google small kitchen design Christmas decor. See what comes up. It's a great trick for, even when you're researching a fashion thing, I've just learned the trick. You can just say, a moto jacket street style, and then all these great images come up. So I would suggest that you do a search like that. But what I will tell you, Norma, just like when I have to design a space that doesn't have a lot of opportunity for tabletop accessorization, I go up and I go to the walls. So in your kitchen, that might mean, again, some greenery or ribbon, but I prefer greenery, something this is very organic and lifts, in the wrought iron areas of a light fixture, if above your cabinetry or in a lighted glass cabinet. A beautiful, simple tray that has some candles and greenery on it, and that's it. And there you go. In a small kitchen, you don't want to give up a lot of space to the stuff. And I think it looks prettier when you do less is more, that kind of thing, and maybe one little rosemary tree or topiary herb tree somewhere near a window. Boom, that's it. So less is more in a small space. But it's a great question. Pamela's saying, I have ugly tile that I need to change. Any DIY I can do before we can afford to do the whole kitchen? Pamela, I wish I knew the name of this product. Pamela, we actually went through a project at the end of last year. It was actually, wow, time flies. We had ugly tile painted by a group that specialized in painting tile. And they totally transformed this tile. And it looked like it looked like a soft, almost like a marble by the time they were done with it. It really looked beautiful. And it was a very dated terracotta 12 by 12 tile before that. So you can look, I don't know how to DIY it myself. I am not a DIY girl in terms of making anything. I draw, but that's about it. So if you can Google how to do that or find an expert to do it, it can be done. You do have to be careful about soap. We learned the hard way. Soap residue was dripping on this tile in the shower, and it started to pull out. The paint started to degrade. How weird is that? Water didn't bother it, but something in soap did. So I would just be careful about that. But in the kitchen, you don't have to worry about that. So that's what I would do. And the other thing I would do if, but you know what? Yeah, the other thing I think you could do too is just rip out the tile if you really hate it and just paint your backsplash until you can do something. And if you want, you can do a waterproof, no, I'm going to just tell you, just paint it for now. There you go. All right. I was taught in design school, and I believe this. Nothing in a room is better than something bad. So if you have a tile you can't stand or a window treatment you absolutely hate, get rid of it. Live with the window bare. Live with just a painted backsplash. You can paint it in a high gloss color if you want to do something fun for a while. And then when you're ready, you go ahead and do something else. Julie is saying, I just bought a couple of apothecary jars for my kitchen counter. Any suggestions what to put in them? Oh, no, the apothecary jars, are those the big jar? Tell me how, Julie, type back in and tell me what the diameter opening is, because I love a good filled jar. So you get back to me. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what an apothecary jar is. Please don't judge me. Sudabe just joined. Sud, we just dropped your contract off to you today. We're gonna be helping you with your kitchen. I can't wait to design for you. Cheryl just said, need those centerpiece tips now? Laugh out loud. Sorry, Cheryl, got it. Give you some reason to join in with me next time, but I can't wait to see you next Tuesday. Norma's saying good information. Thank you. Sudabe is saying hi. Hi, Sudabe. I think I got everybody. I think I got all the questions answered. But Steve, do you have any idea how wide an apothecary jar is? Steve's going to look that up in case I don't get an answer on that. So while I'm waiting for apothecary jar widths, this is great in kitchens for the holidays. So any sort of glass container, it could be a hurricane jar, it could be little like glass canisters. Gosh, what can you put in them? You can put in miniature glass Christmas balls, all one color in one, another color in another, and then all chocolate in another. Did somebody say chocolate? Yes, I did. 72%. Send it here. Or all some cute little Christmas candy, in another. Or you can do all candy colors. I forget what showroom it was in the New York showroom last year. Oh, so good looking and delicious. It was an assortment on this beautiful table that had gorgeous new fabric samples and wallpaper samples, but they had all of these different shapes and sizes of glass jars, lidded jars. And every one of them had a different fantastic looking candy in it. Some were chocolates, not wrapped. It was either loose chocolates or loose candies. And there was, those little cheapers. My mom used to have one in the flowered container growing up. Those little scoops, little silver scoops, little silver scoop in there so you could just help yourself. Talk about festive. It was like a little candy bar. How adorable and beautiful would that be to just have on your countertop or somewhere in your kitchen? And if you have grandkids, you're going to be the favorite grandmother ever. Okay, apothecary jars. Hang on, I'm looking at a picture. Keep the hands moving. Yes, okay, yeah. So what I'm calling a hurricane jar, those are apothecary jars, yeah. So they can be shaped like that with a lid, or they can be shaped like this with a lid. Yeah, so think about less is best in terms of fewer colors. If you're doing, Christmas ornaments, take a pattern of 2 or 3 colors and keep running that through all of the jars. If you're going for candies, go for it. But that's also great, if you're doing a baby shower, or do pastel-y colors for, Easter or Mother's Day in pastel-y colored candies like pastel-y M&Ms and that sort of thing. So yes, and they can also be square, just round cylindrical jars. Yeah. So I didn't know that's what they were called. I always called them hurricanes. There you go. So what else would I put in there? I said the Christmas ornaments. Gosh, you could do if you had little, wrapping bows. You know, I don't mean just a silk, like a simple bow. I mean the ones that really look like a serious bow that's going to go onto a present. The ones that are hard and they have lots of loops. You can just throw a bunch of those all in one color in one jar and vary those through some jars. So there are some low cost things, you know, you can put there as well. Beads, glass beads, clear beads, that can get kind of pricey to do. And then don't forget the old, when you're at a loss, moss, green mossy something, and then fruit like lemons in one, green mossy something, and then limes in another. Or do again, you know, Christmas colors if you want. If red and green are your colors, you know, cherries in one and something green in another, and kind of move around through those. All right. Hopefully that got you going. Julie's saying, oh, she's only about 4 inches or 5 inches in diameter. Okay, yeah. So little fruity things like cherries and lemons, that kind of thing. Candies. I think you're going to be doing candies. I think candies would be good for you. Joan is getting some good ideas. I love it. Hope it rhymes with schmandy. Hope it's candy. All right, dolls. Well, listen, I don't see any more comments coming in over here. Last call for questions or comments. And I want to remind you again, next week we're doing favorite centerpieces for the holidays and beyond. And then next week, you can bring really any design question you want. That'll be my gift to you. And also, if there are certain topics you'd like to see us talk about in 2020, you can tell us that next week as well. We have a really great schedule planned for you, but it occurred to me today that I didn't put anything on the schedule about lamps. And I'm thinking lamps are a topic that you guys might need a little more zhuzhing and finessing on. So anyway, we'll talk about some topics next week. All right, dolls, I think this is last call. It is. Okay, guys. Well, I will see you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here. Can't wait to see you. Thanks for going to House and voting for that bathroom for us if you could. You're doing us a solid, and I send you a hug. And I'll see you next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Bye, everybody.